Boom. All right, here we go. So Kevin Feige recently has done a huge interview exclusively with Entertainment Weekly. And this has been basically his like, man, I forgot I had these on. This has basically been his way of just kind of giving like a massive dump of information and updates on what's going on in Marvel and so on and so forth. So we're going to go through I'm just taking the highlights of it. I'm not going to go through every single article, whatever. I'm just going to go through, most of the main bullet points of it, and then we'll talk about them here and there. So let's kind of get into what Kevin Feige had to say about Phase 5, Kang, and the future of the MCU. Skip. So, in the early days of Quantumania, the test audiences Jonathan Majors started to pop in a big way. Kevin Feige said he's the highest testing villain we've ever had in any of our friends and family screenings. That's really saying something with a movie like this. Ooh, what am I? Okay. So check this out. You mean to tell me, because Marvel, what they will do, they'll take 80 to 100 people that work at Disney, Marvel, whatever, and they'll say, like, hey, come and watch a movie. They'll have people sit down, pre-screen the movie. The effects might not be done. It's like halfway finished. I've never gone to one. I'm just going off of what they have said. And people will watch the movie, and when they watch it, they get to rate and score stuff like, yo, did you like this villain, or did you like this scene, or do you like this? Like, they get to give their input. And this is how Marvel tends to refine their movies. So in other words, they do basically internal focus groups, right? Internal pre-screenings for their stuff. And then they go back to the drawing board, fix stuff up, change things, whatever, right? So apparently, Jonathan Majors as Kang, based off of whatever things that they have seen, because just because what we saw in the theater might not be what the test screenings might have seen. They might have seen things that got cut and will be used later. We don't know. But whatever it is that they saw, he tested higher and more favorably than Killmonger, than Zemo, than Great Value Captain America, and even Thanos. That's saying something. Now, I've told y'all from the jump, once again, Jonathan Majors is a force. I told you this brother's got phenomenal range as acting. Dare I say, because slowly and surely he is getting there for me, he's starting to become one of my favorite actors. Because this man literally jumps in and he's giving me Chadwick Boseman vibes. The way I'd see Chadwick jump into a role and change and do all this stuff, I'm like, man, Jonathan Majors ain't that far away. He's very close in terms of talent. Because he's an actor's actor, and I love that when any actor can do that. So the fact that this man tested that high above Thanos, that's a very good sign. Very, very good sign. So what else do we have here? Skip. How are you thinking about Phase 5 specifically? Kevin Feige says it's really a classification system for the audience that's following along. It's to keep track of how the pieces fit in place. Okay. He also said, but I would say in a very generalized terms, as you see in Quantumania, not every film in Infinity Saga focused on the Infinity Stones or Thanos, and it'll be the same across Phase 5 and 6. Okay, all right. So in other words, when it comes to Phase 5, all of this stuff is really just for us to understand where we're at in the huge sagas, right? So we've already come through the Infinity Saga. Now we're in the Multiverse Saga. Now there have been some other sagas that they're potentially going to do. I forget what was trademarked and what might be coming. But either way, that's pretty much what's going on with phase 5 right now, is to just let you know that yes, this is all in the multiverse stuff. It's all dealing with multiverse stuff. That's what it is. So conceptually, you understand what that is. But he also mentioned that, like, look, like, just because we was in Infinity Saga doesn't mean that everything is going to be about the Infinity Stone, which I kind of like, because that means that, like, everything is not going to be incursion or multiverse. Like, there might just be some movies that just deal with something else, or maybe they deal with something on a lower level, and I'm fine with that. I'm cool with that little bit of diversification. I think that is actually pretty good if they do that. He gives a quick update about Moon Knight. Says Moon Knight, I think there's a future for that character as we move forward. It's not really much of a update, though. It's not much of an update. He's just like, yeah, I think we could use him. Now, there have been, speculation that we would get Moon Knight season 2. And if we do end up getting that, I'm here for it. I just wish that they would actually, like, tell a better story, because Moon Knight was starting up pretty good, but then I don't think it stuck the landing at all. Like, it dragged the whole third personality thing, and I was just like, okay. And then it deprived us of a lot of violent scenes that they easily could have just done. But it is what it is. But hey, Moon Knight could come back some way, somehow. But however they do it, it's got to be after season 2, and it's got to be after he's dealt with whoever it is he is, Mark Spector. But we'll have to wait and see. Now he also continues talking about this, where he says, I do think one of the most powerful aspects of being at Marvel Studios is having these films and shows hit the zeitgeist. It is harder to hit the zeitgeist when there's so much more product out there and so much content. But we want Marvel Studios and the MCU projects to really stand out and stand above. So people will see that as we get further into phase 5 and 6, and people will see that as we get further into phase 5 and 6, the pace at which we're putting out the Disney Plus shows will change, so they can each get a chance to shine. And the person asked him, like, so the pace is going to change. Do you mean spacing them out or putting out fewer shows a year? And he says both, I think. So I actually think that's a wonderful idea, right? Now, I would argue that I don't have a problem if Marvel wants to slow down on giving us so many Disney Plus shows. That's fine by me, because at the end of the time, I've always told y'all this. If you're going to fix something for me, take your time. I will wait for fantastic food. Okay. If you fixing me a meal and you telling me it's going to take X amount of hours, I don't care. I'll wait if it's going to be good. Right. I go to Subway and I wait for them to make my sandwich the way I want it. Okay. That's the same thing with the movies and with the TV shows. If you want to take your time to make something, because now you're not going to give us something, I don't know, with rushed visual effects or terrible storyline, I'm fine with that. Take your time, get it right, put out quality content. I don't think anyone's going to be mad at that. So, I think that is a great way for them, a great approach for them to take. And I would also argue that this is a direct result of Bob Chapek, being gone. Because Bob Chapek, keep in mind, he came into power during the pandemic. What was the focus during the pandemic? Because you need more content. Give me more, give me more, give me more. What's Kevin Feige gonna do? He has to listen to to Bob Chapek. If Chapek says we need more Disney Plus subscribers, chuck out more shows, we don't care if the visuals are finished or not. Chuck them out. That's what Chapek wants, supposedly. But that was their derivative. That was their direction. That's what they wanted to do, was get more content out there. And we saw what happened. A lot of it was rushed and not great quality. So if you want to take your time, if you want to take them back, we just saw, right? Think about this. Right after Chapek got fired, Armor Wars got turned into a movie. That's a shift. They was like, nah, we ain't about to put that on TV. We about to put that man on a blockbuster movie. Great. Sounds good. Sounds like y'all about to cut out all the fluff and y'all are about to give us something of quality. If that's the decision you're making. Let's see if that pans out. So I'm glad that they're going to do that. And here's the other thing. As fans, a lot of times I think we also have to appreciate the amount of time that we used to have in between movies. There was a time when we didn't have Disney Plus shows and we didn't get like multiple movies, 3 movies all in the same year, just a couple of months of, in between. Like sometimes you get like 1 or 2 and then you just wait, but you let it marinate. You let that movie sit. You feel it. We would do theories about it. We would break it down. We would go back, rewatch it. We would take time with those things. And if they're going to change up the pace so we can get back to that, that's great. And the other benefit to that is actually for Marvel. And that benefit for Marvel is a benefit for us. Because if they take their time and space these things out, now they have more time to reflect. Now they have more time to go back and look at that and be like, what worked? What didn't work? All right, let's change it up and not make that mistake again. Sounds like a great plan to me. How do you balance telling stories for the hardcore nerds who have seen the past 30 movies while also trying to find new audiences? Well, Kevin Feige said if there's a Marvel Studios method, it's trying to do both. If you want to dip in and out and just go to the movies on a Friday night or watch streaming series, you can do that. And if you want to follow along, there's certainly much more to be discovered. But we don't ever want it to seem exclusive or that you need to have done your homework before watching something. Sir, that is a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. And here's the thing. That sounded great. I don't know. In the beginning of phase 4, that sounded great. Maybe during phase 3, you could walk in off the street and watch Black Panther. You didn't have to know anything in the MCU for that. You can't walk into Ant-Man 3 without knowing anything before that. If you didn't watch Ant-Man 2, and if you didn't watch Loki, Ant-Man 3 is not going to make a lot of sense to you. It's just not. You're going to be like, who's this? Why are they doing this? What's happening here? Multi what? That dream is over, sir. Walking in and not having to, no, you 30 plus movies deep. You got, I don't know, 10 streaming shows deep. Everything connects on some level. That ship is sailed. You could maybe get away with not watching the entire MCU. That's true. But you can't just walk in on Guardians 3 and just be like, oh, I'm just going to watch this cold. You might need to watch Guardians 1, maybe 2, maybe Endgame. You might need to watch some extra stuff. Let's stop being disingenuous about that. You're too far deep. Over 10 years, 30 movies. Ain't nobody walking cold no more. Anyway. Oh, man, great point. Yeah, even the same thing with Doctor Strange, too. What you finna walk into? You didn't watch WandaVision? You didn't watch Doctor Strange 1? And you think you about to just understand Doctor Strange 2? You've never watched a Spider-Man movie and you think you about to walk into No Way Home? Please go home. Go home and watch something. No, we're not playing that game. We're not playing that game. Sorry, Mr. Kevin Feige. We don't believe you. You need more people. Let's see. He also says that's why the comics have been around for 80 years. And I want Marvel Studios to be around for that long, if not longer. So we have to continue to do different types of things. Okay, hey, listen. I was just talking on this stream the other day, and I said that it is entirely possible for Marvel to continue for another 80 years. They could. the comics have been going for 80 something years. The comics are the source material. The movies and the TV shows have touched on, I don't know, 10%, maybe 5% of the source material, and they're still creating new content. There's no reason to stop. Marvel can keep going for the next century if they, do it right. Because I don't know, if Kevin Feige leave, I don't know. It's gonna get a little rocky, but they definitely could go for 80 years as well. So I'm with you on that. Let's see. He says, I wanted to make he wants to make basically the shows more episodic. He said, you're starting to see the fun of a self-contained episodic story week to week. We're going to experiment that with our upcoming things. Okay. So what's interesting about that, in other words, he doesn't want to do all these shows that have like big crazy cliffhangers and stuff like that. He's like, yo, when I used to watch Star Trek, this is what he was saying. When he watched Star Trek, you could just watch one episode and it was self-contained. You didn't have to watch everything. Yeah, there was an overarching thing somewhere, but you could watch one episode here, you could watch another episode there, and it was just boom, that was the story. So maybe that's what they're going to go with. I would argue this. I'm going to need y'all to at least like extend some of these shows. That little 6 episode thing, that needs to stop. Unless it's a really short story, you need to stop the 6 episode thing. Get up to 9 episodes. And I'm not talking about She-Hulk with 9 episodes of 30 minutes. Go ahead. Get like The Last of Us. Give us a good 45 minutes minimum, up to an hour of a full meaty episode. So when we do watch it for that week, we can wait. And when we watch it, we digest it, we go through it, we can look forward to next week, we watch that, and so on and so forth. But all that little cheap, here go 20 minutes with the bag of chips air at the end of credits of another 15 minutes. Nah, miss me with all that. Tell a full story by giving us a full episode. Okay. But I'm fine with the fact that, like, yes, you want to make it episodic. You don't want to do all the cliffhangers and everything. I'm fine with that. That's cool. I got no problem. All right, moving on. The interviewer asked, what can you tell us about how mutants may or may not play into the future? He says, part of the fun is that I've been at this company half my life for 20 plus years. And we're just now tapping into arguably one of the biggest aspects of the publishing history. This is what I was talking about. Kevin Feige been in the industry for like 20 something odd years. He been at Marvel for like, 10 plus. And they still haven't touched on their bread and butter, the X-Men and mutants. You heard Namor, I'm a mutant, man, whatever. You heard Kamala Khan, oh, you got a mutation, whatever. Where that man Logan at? Where that woman Storm at? Bring on Professor Chuck. That ain't some weird variant y'all gonna kill off. That's what I'm talking about. They ain't bust out they big guns or they big Joker, not yet. So it is a little scary that Marvel has gotten this long of a lead, this much, traction, and they still ain't even done the one thing that's going to be the biggest draw. It's crazy, but here we are. And he says more so. And we've got Hugh Jackman coming back for our first Deadpool film within the MCU. That's our first rated R movie. Hey, that's great. I think we already knew that it was going to be rated R, though. All right. He says they also say, let's talk about the Marvels. Oof. All right. Kevin Feige says they are fun cosmic elements to it. The Marvel comic fans will recognize elements of the Kree-Skrull War, and it's picking up directly after the end of Captain Marvel 1. Not in timeline, but in story. We also do that in our upcoming Disney Plus series, Secret Invasion. And those are 2 very different follow-ups to that movie. Tonally, they couldn't be more different. This is what I need y'all to pay attention to. I told y'all I went and I saw at D23, they showed us like, an extended clip, trailer, or whatever of the Marvels. I'm telling you that thing now, again, maybe it's what they showed me. I can't say that's what the whole movie is, but based off of that clip that they showed, this movie looked all over the place. 1 minute it's like serious action, next minute it's like wacky, goofy silliness, this, that, or whatever. I'm like, Thor Love and Thunder Part 5? Like, is that you? And hear what he had to say. Now, that was my gut telling me I'm not really feeling this fun kitty tone that you doing with the Marvels. That was my gut telling me that based off of what I saw. Now, we do have the sister Nia DaCosta coming in. She did Candyman, and she's coming in to direct. I like Nia. Nia's great, but based off of what I saw, I'm like, I don't think I like that tone. And Kevin Feige just told you Secret Invasion is a drastic opposite. It's tonally very different than the Marvels. Do y'all remember the trailer for Secret Invasion? I ain't hear one joke in the Secret Invasion trailer. I'm talking about the series on Disney Plus with Sam Jackson's Nick Fury and Skrulls are invading everything. That thing looked like a straight up follow-up to Winter Soldier. That thing looked like it was serious. And it looked like probably setting up to be one of their best series based off of the trailer. But to tell me that thing is tonally different. So if Secret Invasion is super serious and the Marvels is very different than that, I don't have a lot of faith in the Marvels. Because I told y'all before, when we had that little experiment not too long ago in my last video, I asked y'all, what were y'all top Marvel movies? And outside of the exception of Thor Ragnarok, most people picked movies, Winter Soldier, Black Panther, Infinity War, Endgame, Avengers, Iron Man. Most people pick movies with more serious tones. So if Marvel continues with the Marvels having some fun, Ant-Man 3 try to have some fun, Thor 4 try to have some fun. Is this what y'all want? Is this this is why I don't know if I can I don't know if that curse of the midness is gonna break. Now, Deadpool 3, that's okay. Deadpool 3, you could do that because ain't nobody got no expectations for Deadpool 3 except but to be funny. That's different. Blade, I want like 3 jokes in Blade. I want him. I don't care if it's something like, certain, mother effers trying to ice skate uphill. Fine. Like, you can give me those little jokes, but y'all gonna have to grow up. At some point, Marvel, y'all gonna have to grow up. Because all that fun kitty stuff, it's not having good longevity based on the movies that have been highly acclaimed, highly rated by fans, critics, that get you the box office numbers. The laughs ain't it. The more serious tone type of stuff, those are the things that have proven to be more rewarding. So again, like I said, I'm not very confident in the Marvels. Maybe that changes. I don't know. There was an article, hold on, that we should get to. It just turned out that the Marvels is shifting its release date from the summer to now fall of 2023. So now it's moving from, where was it? I think it was on August 11th. Now it's being moved to November 10th, which to me, I'm like, that's okay. If you're going to move it, are you also going to change it? We just talked about James Gunn, Taika Waititi. Everybody says Marvel keeps editing stuff all the way until it premieres. I'm hoping maybe they find some things. Maybe they got more control now that they don't have Chapek breathing down their neck, forcing them. Maybe now they can kind of look back at the Marvels and be like, look, I don't know, man. People wasn't feeling all the jokes over here. Maybe we got to cut out some of that over there. Maybe we do some reshoots. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. All right, let's see. Yeah, so that's my concern with the Marvels and Phase 5 so far. Captain America New World Order with Anthony Mackie and Harrison Ford. Feige did say we start filming relatively soon. This is certainly a big part for Thaddeus Ross. He's the president of the United States in the film. He also says there's a dynamic between President Ross and Sam Wilson. They have a history together, but in this film, we'll be seeing the dynamic between Captain America and the President of the United States in a way that is just incredible. So, all right, I'm thinking, I think a lot of people, as we know, Thunderbolt Ross, who got recast after, the actor passed away, and, I don't know. I guess no one's concerned about William Hurt's legacy. But with Harrison Ford stepping into the role, Thunderbolt Ross from the comics, as you know, also turns into the Red Hulk or something of that nature. So maybe that's what he's alluding to of the president versus Captain America. Because if Red Hulk is the president, hey, that's going to be an interesting toe-to-toe matchup right there. Especially since Sam is not a super soldier and my man still can't fight. Anyway, but hey, Captain America 4. I've told y'all from the jump. I think that they're gonna have to beef this movie up. They're gonna have to put Bucky in there. They're gonna have to put he gonna need all the Thunderbolts. He gonna need everybody. He gonna need the red, white, blue star, everybody who could show up to help with this movie. In my opinion, it's gonna have to be similar to Captain America Civil War, where you had a mini Avengers movie. And if it's not, I'm also concerned about that, but we'll see where that goes. Then, of course, we also have the Thunderbolts. That's also in the works for 2024. And Feige did say that, hey, your de facto leader is going to be Bucky Barnes, and that's sort of all you need to know. I mean, it's kind of funny to me because a lot of the images at first were showing that like it was going to be Yelena, that was gonna be, at least that's the way they positioned her, as like the head of the team and all that. But no, apparently they're gonna go with age and experience, with Bucky instead. So okay, the Winter Soldier is gonna be the leader of the Thunderbolts. I am looking forward to what this could mean. I was a little skeptical at first about the whole idea of like all of the Thunderbolts are all super soldiers except for Ghost. Like everyone had some sort of super soldier, something. Of course, you got Taskmaster in there too. Like what's the big deal? Now the rumor is they have to go after another freak accident of a super soldier who might be Sentry. And if you don't know, Sentry is basically the Superman of the MCU of Marvel, except he has a very dark secret. He's not a here. He's not all here. So anyway, Thunderbolts seems I don't know. I kind of feel a little bit more interested in Thunderbolts than I do Captain America 4. I mean, I got to see trailers, of course. I don't know, but if they do have to go against a potential Sentry, I kind of sort of want to see that a little bit more, but I don't know. We'll see. Now we do have a Blade movie update as well. Kevin Feige said, yo, it's going well. Our director, Jan, is down in Atlanta right now. Cameras roll in like the next 10 weeks or so. I'm just going to say this now. Marvel better put all the time and energy to make sure that Blade is phenomenal. I'm not talking about good, I'm not talking about great. I'm talking about phenomenal. There would be no MCU without Blade. If Blade had not done what Blade did to prove that comic book movies can work, all them little dreams about Fantastic Four, all them little ideas for the X-Men, all them little ideas for all this stuff with Marvel, none of that would have happened. None of it. So I need that same energy when you get all excited about Deadpool 3, when y'all at Marvel get so excited about Fantastic Four, y'all better put that same energy in Blade. Same energy. Don't just be like, all right, somebody, y'all got a script ready? I need all eyes on that script. Because the first time y'all let that script get out of hand and y'all waited, what, almost a year or two? So you had a whole terrible script for that long, and then the director falls out like almost like the last minute, like a month before it's time to shoot? Somebody dropped the ball. Somebody dropped the ball with Blade, and that's not okay. Because y'all would never do that with Fantastic Four. Y'all would never do that with an X-Men movie. Y'all would never do that with a Spider-Man movie. Show Blade the same respect you would any other popular series. Because again, y'all wouldn't even have jobs here if it was not for Blade. Speaking of which, Spider-Man update. Tom Holland's Peter Parker is going to be coming back. Kevin Feige said, all I will say is that we have the story. We have big ideas for that. And our writers are just putting pen to paper now. Okay, let me tell you something. Kevin Feige is the worst person to talk to about Spider-Man because he ain't finna tell you nothing. He's not going to tell you nothing good at all. What y'all need to do is go find Amy Pascal. Go find Amy Pascal, co-producer. Remember, she used to work at Sony until them Sony leaks, and then she got fired, and now she's independent, but she's still a co-producer on all these Spider-Man movies. You go find Amy Pascal, and Amy Pascal gonna tell you everything. Okay? After Spider-Man No Way Home, Amy sat there and was like, we're gonna have 6 Spider-Man movies. She said, we're gonna have 6. Kevin was like, oh my God, shut up. Kevin was like, oh my God, shut up. Shut up. Kevin was finna lose it. You go get the lady who ain't got nothing to lose because she her own brand. She don't work for nobody. She don't answer to nobody. She works with Kevin Feige. She don't answer to him. So you go, somebody go get that exclusive. Because she gonna tell you, look, we're gonna do Spider-Man 5, 6, 7. It's gonna be Venom, then it's gonna be Green Goblin, then we're gonna have 15 Spider-Man come from all the multiverses in 6. She gonna spill all them beans. Okay. You go talk to Amy. Kevin Feige, I ain't going. We got a story together. Man, get out of here. Where's Amy at? Put her on the hotline so we can find out the real updates for Spider-Man 15. That because she'll tell you the 15. Look, she gonna tell you every script possible because she want to make sure y'all come to the movies. Oh, love her though. Love it. All right, what else you got? Oh, Fantastic Four. He goes on to say Fantastic Four is the foundation of everything that came after in the comics. We plan on that being a big pillar of the MCU going forward, just the way they've been in the comics for 50 or 60 years. That's great. Is Blade gonna be a pillar too? Blade could be a pillar of the whole MCU. Just saying. I love this energy that you're giving to the Fantastic Four, but I'm sorry, nobody was really checking for the Fantastic Four a long time ago. Now, shout out to Jonathan Hickman and all the current writers now, man. They've been boosting them up a lot, but look, all I know is there was a good long time where nobody really cared about Fantastic Four like that. We knew who they were. Not saying they were irrelevant. I'm just saying they wasn't popping the way you think. Spider-Man was your real pillar. That's who was holding y'all up. Just like at DC, it ain't Superman holding up DC. It's Batman. Let's be clear about that. We had 11 something. How many Batman we got? We got like 15 Batman. Like 11 to 15 something Batman. We might have had maybe 7 to 8 Superman. Fantastic Four ain't your pillar. You could say that for nostalgia, but let's be honest. The people that remember the nostalgia of the Fantastic Four from the 60s or whatever, they probably not coming to these Marvel movies because they might be a little too old. You might want to change that pillar to something a little more fresh, a little more young, a little more pep in their step. Ain't nobody checking for Sue Storm. The Thing. Now, Mr. Fantastic. Don't get me wrong. Mr. Fantastic is amazing. Like, this is Reed Richards, one of the smartest guys in the entire universe, etc., etc. Great. Wonderful. Bring it on. But the Fantastic Four? Bro, let me tell you something right now. I don't know about the copyrights and all that stuff. Yeah, bring on the Impossibles. You know what I'm saying? Like, bring them on. I'll take them over the Fantastic Four. I've just never been all that interested. Now, their kids are Valeria Richards, Franklin Richards. Now we talking. And I'm talking about story. Okay, I want to be clear about that. I'm talking about the stories behind the characters. So I'm not talking about like, Johnny Storm doesn't have cool powers. I'm not saying Sue Storm doesn't have great abilities, because actually Sue Storm has like some amazing abilities, and she's actually low key like one of the most powerful ones. And that's fine if they want to enhance that. But I'm just saying, in terms of stories, I'm usually caring more about Reed, Valeria, and Franklin. And Franklin might be too powerful for the MCU, period, for all we know. But anyway, I just need the energy to be the same. I hope. We'll see. Probably won't be anyway. But either way, what did you think of this plethora, this long list of announcements from Kevin Feige for phase 4, 5, and 6 coming up? Did you like these updates? What were some of your favorite ones? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. This was just a segment of one of my live chats, and if you're interested in joining in on the next one, be sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications for more. I've got more videos and reviews to do for you all, and until next time, I'll see you all later.